Here we have HEX versus the dollar on this one. A video that's been long coming because I've been looking at this one ever since it's got to be like April or yeah, probably March, April of this year. And I've been fucking bullish on it, especially ever since April on this reversal over here. And these targets just keep on getting like higher and higher. Sounds pretty crazy, but you know, we're just looking at pure technicals right now. I'm not making any comments on the underlying project or anything like that. I'm not the person to do that. I am not educated in that fashion. All I can talk about is charts right here. Now we did hit the 3.618 Fibonacci extension target coming out of the prior base, which was all the way back in July, actually mid-July, resolved in late August. And this typically is a bit of a short-term, medium-term pullback area. And I would be looking probably for it to play back down somewhere around to the 3.272. Now with that said, I did say yesterday that I would be having around a 50 to 55 cent target on the highs of this run, and I probably would still stay with that overall. So while it might play out a bit of a short-term pullback, in fact, you kind of see it already on the hourly. You might even argue, I might even argue that this one's already played out as a pullback. In fact, I really, yeah, actually, I probably would. I wouldn't be looking for a corrective move as long as this thing's above about 40 cents or so in this case. I think it's very likely it's already played out right here. I wouldn't be looking for the next sort of, you know, major high to be put in until we see BBWP get all the way up, at least to 95 percentile, preferably 100 percentile, and stay there for a couple days like you saw way back on over here, but probably a little bit too early within the history to really be judging it from a volatility perspective on the daily when we saw those reads. Over here on the 12-hour should precipitate that as well, and momentum oscillators do still say that this one probably has maybe one more stab and then a bit of a medium-term pullback. Now I wouldn't necessarily call a reversal on it just yet, and I don't think that there's any real long-term considerations of reversal until this one does come back down below about 35 cents. Now below 35 cents, I'd be confident and comfortable saying that this one will play out, you know, more prolonged downside move and correct down probably into the low 20s, you know, over time. But for right now, still a continuation move, still very, very strong. I mean, none of the higher term timeframes are bearish. They're just extended. So pullbacks very likely to just make higher lows at this point by daily RSIs around prior highs that we've seen about 92. So we will have a little bit of bearish evidence right there. But again, it's not even a local high just yet. 3-day, I imagine is going to be closing today. And this is continuation. I would not feel comfortable calling a high here just yet. 5-day, same shit. Weekly is continuation as well. Here's what momentum also to say over here. See what we got going on. Hourly is actually going to flip back up with any sort of closure above 45.5 cents or so. 4 hours going to be up as long as above 43.40 or so. 12 hour down if we do close below 44.5, actually below there right now, and daily will actually go down as long as below 45 cents. So it does need to continue basically today above 45 cents for that next set of targets to be relevant. Otherwise, I would be looking for the short-term, medium-term scenario to play out, or sorry, pullback scenario to play out first. This one is just powerful right here. Let's look at it on linear scale. Like that's the real chart. Like that's you don't need to be a professional trader or anything like that to look at that and say that that's pretty damn extended. But if there's one thing that I know, do not fucking front run trend reversals before they actually happen, because these parabolic moves, like they always go higher than what you think. And even the short term is showing a little bit of hidden bullish evidence right here. I'm curious to see what it looks like on my trending charts over here as well. Let's get rid of these DMI. Okay, get out of there. Well, it actually might be relevant. It's still actually strengthening for what it's worth. Daily, trending above the top side trend band. However, this would be a toppy-ish close today if we do close below, especially like low 40 cent. But for what it's worth, it has been trending above the top side trend band for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Working on day number 11 right here. Again, I kind of rest my case on that until it actually does close below. I would not be willing to call even like a medium-term high on this one. It's extended as fuck. I'll tell you what you already know. And we are, from a PMR perspective, still not necessarily around where those mega highs have come in from the past as well. So if I did have to call it, I think it probably does print like another high or two first, and then probably does play out a bit of a corrective move to the downside. Then we'll come back to it after that. But for right now, still chugging its way along, and can't really hit a chart that looks like that ever. So fair enough. And hopefully that was helpful. There you go. Did I talk about invalidation points? Yeah, I believe I did. Okay, so we're all good there. Nice one. All right, beautiful.